So if we look at Southeast Asia, let me divide it into three main components. First is your connectivity, second is your privacy and cybersecurity regulations, and third is the digital literacy. And following this, there is country ambitions on what they want to do using their digital tools. Like, are they focusing on the businesses for ease of doing business or looking at the government? And then there is regional cooperation. So we need to slice these digital cooperation thing in the ASEAN economies or Southeast Asian countries in bite-sized components. So if we see, generally most of the countries in Southeast Asia cover many of these components. However, given the countries' different stages of development, we see differences in priorities, policy coverage, and implementation. All governments are encouraging digital transformation, either through they have some digital strategies at national level, or they're giving some subsidies for digital skills or training, or there is a discussion on the purchase of the relevant infrastructure. A sector that gets very uniform importance along all these economies is the e-commerce. So for digital strategies, what we observe that while a country like Philippines has an economy-wide digital strategy, there are countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, or even Malaysia and Singapore, their digitalization strategy is by industries. So if you remember, I told you there are 5 or 6 key sectors that's developing in this region. So if I now go by the components, so if we look at the connectivity, there are again two tiers of countries in Southeast Asia. There are countries like Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, where governments are investing significantly in developing the digital infrastructure. On the other hand, there are countries like Singapore, Malaysia, and even Vietnam. They're trying to provide subsidies to low income households to improve the accessibility. Now, digital literacy is a topic which is very uniformly discussed along all ASEAN economies, and it's a government priority for all. And they are doing through either vocational training or in the education programs from early ages. Then comes your the rules and regulations, and for this. Say all countries they have some form of personal data protection regulation, but while some countries have, say, personal data protection acts, there are countries like Vietnam and Indonesia who have no privacy law, but it recognizes the right to personal privacy through other regulations. And the same thing holds for, say, cybersecurity laws. So if you see, there is no one size fit all in Southeast Asian region. So in terms of regional cooperation, what are these countries doing?